the right view to start with is the knowledge about non-self, about non-duality, and about non-identifying. So that is kind of like the starting point. That is the view that we have of the world. It's very much about seeing the world as it is. The world is not a nice place. I had a conversation the other day in the comment section on the channel with one where we talked about that the world is not a nice place at all. In many ways, it's not. It's horrendous what you see in the news and what is happening with war and trafficking and lies and deceit. And if you look at the news, it's horrendous. It's nothing but bad news from start to end. If you watch a TV show, it's very much about murder and violence, and how if you watch a reality show, it's very much about deceit and lying and gossiping. And there are not many things out there that gives you a surplus in you being you, and gives you a calm and a sense of belonging, and experiencing that, having a feeling in you that you want more for the world than what is actually happening. That's very hard. It's very, very hard. And if you look back like just 50 years or 100 years or 300 years, then obviously we can see that there's a development. That, I mean, just in my lifetime, the way that women are treated in the world are very much different from when I was a child and a young woman and until now. The same with slaves and with gays, and I mean, there's so many things that has changed. But the burden that we carry as human beings is that our lifespan is very, very short. We're only here for like 70 years if we're fortunate. And the change that I'm talking about has happened over like 300 years, 500 years, which means that every good thing you do in the world, you're probably not gonna experience the result of. And that is very discouraging for many people. It's very easy to get overwhelmed by that fact that whatever we do is actually not contributing to anything that you're going to experience. So you can spend 70 years being kind and compassionate and helpful, and it's not, that doesn't mean that people are going to be kind and compassionate and helpful towards you. It just means that you choose to be kind and compassionate and helpful towards others. And for many people, that is very, very complicated. A lot of people need to experience that exchange, and life is not like that. It's not that good things happen to good people and bad things happen to bad people. It's not like that. Horrendous things happen to good people, and beautiful thing happens to horrendous people. So there's not that Disney rosebud rainbow unicorn slant on life, and in many ways that is it's very hard to bear. It's very hard to carry as a human being, but it is part of how it is. And on a personal level, I also think that is why for many people religion is very comforting, because then there's somebody that has the overview, which we clearly don't, and that is very comforting to have that. So I completely understand why people turn to religion. I completely understand that. In Buddhism, however, it's very much about seeing the world as it is. This is how it is. And if you don't identify with this is how it is, then you can actually be in the world and be a part of that. Because even though I'm not cruel to animals or to people, I'm still a part of the human species. I'm still a human. I'm still part of it. So it's not something that is happening without me. I am a part of it, just like we experience with the climate crisis, that I might be very mindful about how I am in the world regarding consumerism and waste and my lifestyle and all of that, but I'm still a part of it. I'm here. And every person that is here is part of the climate crisis. If you weren't here, you wouldn't pollute, you know. So it's very much about having the surplus in you to be a part of that. And you do that by not identifying, and I'm not talking about spiritual bypassing. It's very, very important to make that clear. I'm not talking about spiritual bypassing where you just go into that, what do you call it? I usually call it spiritual Christianity, where it's about, you know, only seeing the positive and only being positive and only want to have positive in your life and all that. That's gaslighting, because it doesn't make any space for all the horrible feelings that you have and all the horrible things happening in your life and the sadness and the anger that you also experience. That's part of being human. So I'm not talking about gaslighting at all. So it's very much about seeing the world as it is, accepting life, no matter how ridiculous or absurd it seems. And that one of the ways you can do that on a psychological level is with the unconditional acceptance. I have made a lot of videos where I talk about unconditional acceptance. You can just search on the channel. And it's very much about, this is happening. Can I accept that this is happening? And let's say human trafficking, no, I can't accept that. I know it's happening, and I can't accept it. I feel that if I accept that, then I'm condoning that it's happening. It's not what I'm asking you to do, though. I'm not asking you to condone. I'm just like asking you to accept that what already is reality, accepting that it is reality. And that is the very complicated part. If you can't do that, then can you accept that you can't accept that this is reality? Can you create space for you, in you, that this is really, really difficult? I really, really struggle with this. I know it is reality. I can't accept it. I can't have space for that in me, but I can have space for me not having space for it, if you know what I mean. That I can create a space for me for not accepting what is. And that helps you. That helps you in supporting you in being in the world with all the absurdity and all the horrendous things happening. Right view is also part of giving up all views. So it's not having any one view. If you have a view, then you identify with the view. You need to be fluid in it. You need to be flexible in it. So it's a lot of us, we have the religious programming, no matter if we are religious or not, but part of the society is in many ways based on the religion that is the what do you call it? The majority in the country. I can't remember the word in English. But it's giving up on that too. It's questioning everything that you have a view about, questioning. Are you sure this is the right view? Are you sure this is how it is? And a lot of times you will find out that no, actually it's not. I'm programmed to think like that. I'm conditioned to think like that. It's not a universal truth. It's my truth that I project into everybody else and say that we all know you shouldn't speak to elderly people like that. And becoming aware of that, so you're not leaning towards any one view, but you are fluid in your views. So and then really understanding the Four Noble Truths about about the ego and about how you are in the world, how you perceive yourself as a separate self, and what is actually the truth, what is actually happening in you, both physiologically and biologically and neurochemically, what is actually happening in you. So it's understanding that there's not a separate self. So you can't identify with anything since there's not a separate self. If you want a mantra that you can say when you work with the right view, then it's with deeds of love and kindness I purify my body, and it's having the focus on the love and kindness towards yourself and towards other people, all living beings, not only yourself, but having loving kindness as your default for everything. And this is a part of the wisdom part of the Eightfold Noble